Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Goaltending, where your why is bigger than your excuses. I want to ask you a simple question today. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. The question is, what are you measuring? What are you measuring in relation to your goal? Right? Because a whole lot of people, possibly you, were not measuring the right things. Tell you what I mean by that. Progress often, like when you're working towards something, feels invisible. It's like you don't see the progress, so you get like demoralized, demotivated. You want to quit on the goal because you're not seeing progress. Often, the reason you're not seeing progress, the problem, the reason you're getting demotivated is you're measuring the wrong thing. So what most people measure is outcomes. They're measuring basically the goal, like the end state or against that. And what I mean is a lot of people will say, real easy example, I want to lose X amount of weight. The weight loss is the outcome. And so what they often measure is the scale. They measure by stepping on the scale regularly to see where is my weight in relation to my goal. And so they're looking at the weight as their measurement for success. And the weight is an outcome. It's not the thing that we should be measuring. Okay? Another example, businesses. Revenue is what, businesses measure to say like we're a successful business because we generated X amount of revenue. However, the revenue, that's the outcome of what the business has been doing, but it doesn't tell the whole story. A business may not have a ton of revenue, but may be a successful business and you're not seeing the full picture, or may have a ton of revenue and is not nearly as successful as you think they are because the revenue is just an outcome. That's not what we need to be focused on measuring for success. Let's say you're training for a race or something that requires an output of some kind. So let's say race, because it's easy to say, okay, what is my race time? So now I'm measuring success by a time, but the time is an outcome. All right, so how do we overcome that? We know that we're measuring wrong things. What is the right thing? What do we need to be measuring? And what we need to measure, what we should actually be tracking to determine whether or not we're successful, is inputs. What is it that we are putting in that we can measure, that we can track, that determines success toward the goal? So let's say my goal is weight loss. We go back to the easy one. What are some inputs that I can measure, that I can consider as success and I can track consistently that would help toward weight loss? So it might be, hey, how many meals did I prep this week? How many cheat meals did I pass on this week? How many times did I stick to that meal plan, right? How many workouts did I complete? The number of workouts matters. How many hours did I sleep? Because sleep, rest, and recovery is extremely important when it comes to weight loss and or muscle gain, physical fitness in general. That's just a few things, right? For me, the podcast. I've been doing the podcast about 2.5 years. I view the podcast as a huge success. Reason being is I have never looked at or concerned myself with numbers or follows or anything like that. Now it's great, and I ask people to follow. Obviously, it's great to increase the platform, but that is not what I measure success on. The reason I ask people to follow, to share, to comment, to do any of those things is because I created this to create value. The more people that it reaches, the more value it creates. So my measurement is on input, being consistent with putting out podcast episodes. So I set how frequently I want to put an episode out, and then I make sure that I stick to that, and I measure my success on my ability to constantly stick to that schedule of producing quality content that creates value that helps people in their lives, right? And so if I get caught up on the outcome is to build that platform, to have more followers and viewers, because that means more people that it can reach, the more people it can create value for, right? If I focus only on that though, and that's not there, then I'm going to get discouraged, demotivated. I'm going to give up on the goal on the podcast. But no, the podcast is very successful. It's been going for 2.5 years strong. And that's because I'm measuring the inputs, what I am doing toward the podcast. So let's think of a program. So I did 75 Hard, great program. I recommend it to people. So I did 75 Hard a few years ago. And what that is, once again, I've talked about it on the podcast before, but just in case you haven't heard of it, 75 Hard is a mental toughness program. So you are supposed to complete two 45-minute workouts each day for 75 days. One of those workouts has to be outside, regardless of weather, rain, shine, snow. You do two workouts a day, one of them outdoors. You drink a gallon of water a day. You take a selfie or a progress picture every single day. You read 10 pages of a personal development book. No cheat meals, no alcohol. And the thing is some people will approach that challenge and say, like, I want to lose X amount of weight. I'm going to do this challenge to help keep me on track. And often they end up losing that weight, maybe more, or they end up hitting whatever that goal was. Maybe they don't have a goal, but they're just like, I need to get on track. But let's say they do have a weight loss goal. The reason that they most likely reach that goal is because they started focusing on the inputs, on the habits that help reach that goal by sticking to those workouts, no cheat meals, having a nutrition plan, no alcohol, you know, all of these habits they start tracking consistently and doing on a daily basis. And that is why people find success in that program. There's a lot of other programs out there. And the reason programs are successful for you is because you start measuring or tracking the right things in a lot of cases, right? So focus on the inputs. Now I want to give you the mindset shift, right? This is what we're trying to shift our mindset to. Measure consistency and effort before you obsess over the results. That's all it is. Those inputs, they're about your consistency in making those inputs and your effort toward that. Like, what kind of effort are you giving? And if you focus on that consistency and that effort, that is where you will determine your success from, instead of obsessing over a result or an outcome. So here's the challenge I want to give you this week. Pick an input that is something that's going to progress you toward whatever goal, whatever thing it is that you're working toward. Pick an input and track that input for 7 days, just for a week, short term. Now, it's great if you can do longer. Like if you can, but you have to do 7 days to do longer, right? So commit to a week, pick an input, stick to it for 7 days, track it, and watch what changes. Watch how it shifts your mindset to focusing on the input, on the habit. All right. So I want you to comment in. I want you to keep me posted on your progress. Like, track it. And either, I mean, you could drop a message or a comment daily, or hit me up at the end of the week and say, hey, like, I stuck to it. I hit it for 7 days. I feel great. I loved seeing the progress. I feel like I was a success because I can see by tracking my input that I am progressing. Let me know how that goes for you. All right. And if it doesn't work, let's say you fall off, or let's say you stick to it for 7 days, but you're like, I mean, this is silly. I don't see a difference. That's fine. I'm so open to opposing opinions and beliefs, but I truly believe that the one of the big problems is people measuring the wrong thing. All right, so shift that mindset, take on the challenge. Make sure you all go like, subscribe, Comment with your thoughts and questions to join the conversation, and let's grow.